In this video, you're going to learn how to play 3-note arpeggios on the handpan. This is a super amazing technique on how to play different chords in sequential patterns, dung dung ding, dung dung ding, and also at the same time, ding, ding. Welcome to Didge Project. I'm AJ Block, and on this channel we've got all sorts of great tutorials on didgeridoo, rhythm instruments, and all sorts of things that you can play without necessarily needing to have a background in music theory, reading music, or anything like that. If you've never been here before, I highly suggest you hit the subscribe button below so that you can stay tuned on what we have coming up next. I want to introduce you all to Rafael D'Arco from Tacta Handpans in Brazil. Rafael is a master craftsman and he's also an incredible player. If you haven't checked out the video of the Tacta Handpan demos, I'm linking it up here. You should definitely watch. Rafael came out to New York this week and we got to do an interview. I got to do some handpan demo videos and he taught this lesson, which is just so amazing. Enjoy.
My name is Rafael D'Arco. I'm from Brazil, São Paulo, Brazil. And I'm the maker, one of the makers of Tacta Handpans. First thing to think about when it comes to handpans, usually the layout of notes is not like a perfect sequence from like C to C or whatever the scale is. So it gets a little trickier to find which scales you're playing, but there's some tricks to it. Like the first thing you can try to is to separate your pans in sides. So let's say you have your lowest note here, and if it's like as a standard, your next note is going to be to the left. So in this case, it's an A then a B. So if you get these two and use it as a dividing line, you have two sides of your instrument, and usually, that's not always, but usually, each side functions as a harmonically compatible use of notes. So even if I play the 4 together and the other side, so that alone creates like two completely separate environments for mood exploration. Like if I keep like playing this for 3 hours, I'm gonna entertain myself like just using this side and this side. But what you were referring to was like exploring this in a more like arpeggio way instead of like going. First thing, what's an arpeggio technically is like playing a chord separately. So the notes on the chord playing like one after the other, like this. So since we have 2 hands and 3 notes to play, or more maybe, you have to end up like coming up with a way of playing the notes separately. Usually what I do, and I've seen like people doing like in very different ways, but what I do is like use one of my hands as kind of a wrist movement. So I'm basically not using my fingers, I'm just like rotating my wrist and arm to do this. And kind of move my hand around to create like more momentum. And the other hand fills in with the 3rd note. So you realize I'm not going like this. So this will tire my arm a lot and produce too much clicking sound. So I'm just like moving my hand as if I was brushing, but not actually sliding it through the note, actually touching it. And this is like every different player does it slightly or maybe completely different. So it comes to like how I approach it. But basically what I do is one hand using 2 notes and the third note is played by the other hand. So this creates the possibility of freeing up this hand to change that note around. So I keep like the same pattern with the other hand and go around the other notes to get different colors, like that changes, of course, the chord I'm playing. Maybe not. And I can do it with both hands. So if I do it with the other hand, which for me is not as easy, I need to practice on this hand. around. But this is a very comfortable way of exploring chords in a handpan, instead of just going for the chords, like, because you separate it rhythmically, so you can like explore different. Oh yeah, I'm using a three beat pattern, like on top of a 4 measure. So this creates like a little bit of wavy movement, because if I was supposed to play like in a 4, it would sound completely different. But if I play on a 3, the same 4 beats using 3 notes, it goes like 1, 2, 3, but the sound is here, the beat is here. So it kind of dislodges, like moves the strongest beat around the counting of the measures. So it's not always on the first. So it kind of creates a movement of, oh, it's not going to end, and then it, at the end of the 4 bars it connects again. So there's ways of doing it. I'm not getting to a very technical exploration of rhythms, but that's one way to create this kind of, as if we're limping a bit, like, oh, it's not getting there, but then it arrives and settles. This is just like ways of playing it, but it involves the same thing of using 3 notes. You can do it with 4, with 5, with as many notes as you can, but then it starts to get more complicated, like how to move your hands around. I said about the easy way of separating it into sides, but you can do it like crossing sides, like. So what I encourage people to do is to actually sit down and explore the instrument, like try to find 3-note patterns that work together. Sometimes they don't, like, but they might, depending on what kind of mood you're trying to create. It's an amazing instrument, so there's lots of possibilities to explore.
So thank you all so much for watching. I highly suggest you check out Tacta Handpans, now available in the Didge Project store. There's 14 or 15 different scales available, and they're super beautiful. Make sure to subscribe to Didge Project. Just hit that subscribe button below. Like this video if you dug what Rafael had to teach, and check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Didge Project, and we will see you at the next one. Bye-bye.